There was an interview a few years ago that actually stuck out to me. We cover a lot of pro wrestling on our site. You had mentioned Daniel Bryan grappling at your gym and all that, and he's recently made a return. Have there been any other pro wrestlers you've come across in your time that maybe surprised you or that you saw in the gym and either recognized them or somebody tapped you on the shoulder like, hey, it's a WWE guy?
There actually was. Man, I don't know who it was, but there was a girl who came by, and she was a WWE wrestler. Oh, and then Luke Sanders, who's trained at my gym for a long time, for years and years and years, and he was dating a WWE girl also.
Becky Lynch.
Yeah, her. She's supposed to be super famous, right? She's like popular, so we got to see her around. She's super awesome, super nice, super cool person to hang around and talk to and stuff. But there was another guy too, Daniel Bryan. There was another girl who I didn't know. There was that Luke's ex-girlfriend now, Becky Lynch. And there was one more guy, but I can't remember who he was, his name.
I remember you mentioning the Daniel Bryan thing, and he was out with concussion-related issues. And you said that his performance kind of surprised you in the gym. Was there any particular reason for that, where you just like did you think that maybe if he ever made the transition, he could at least perform at a somewhat mediocre level?
Oh, no, I think if Daniel Bryan decided to segue into MMA, I think he'd do great. He has a good background. And then the biggest thing for me in life in general, especially for, competing, mixed martial arts, that sort of stuff, is just your work ethic. I think he had a great work ethic. And he would just take the regular classes, he never practiced with the fight team, but he would just take regular classes, and you could just tell, like, oh, this guy's a great work ethic guy. He's a high-level, like, professional athlete. He knows how to work. You see a class an hour in, and guys start to chit-chat, start to hang out and talk more, and they're not really doing the techniques, not really practicing the way they should be, like they were in the first 15 minutes of the class. But an hour in, and this guy is still doing the same great technique, still super concentrated on it, mentally focused on getting this technique. That's huge. That takes people far in life, So I think Daniel Bryan has the physical tools. He has obviously the work ethic, and his actual jiu-jitsu. He actually did the technique. A lot of times guys will try to use muscle or just scramble and not have the great technique, but he really applied himself to learning and having great technique. So I thought he would do great. I was like, oh man, if he ever did get into MMA, like he's already doing jiu-jitsu here, we could definitely help him out. But
and now he's back in the wrestling ring. His concussion issues cleared. I don't know if you saw the little kind of back and forth him and Mike Jackson had, the guy that faced CM Punk. Daniel Bryan said that he thought that if it went to the ground, he might be able to beat Mike Jackson. I don't know how familiar you are with Mike Jackson, but how do you think that would go?
With CM Punk or with Daniel Bryan?
With Daniel Bryan.
Oh. Mike Jackson has a lot of experience, like MMA. So it is another story. You're talking about jiu-jitsu or MMA on the ground. Just for the sake of MMA, you have to get to Mike Jackson just because it's MMA. But if we talk about in a gi, I don't know how good Mike is in a gi, but Daniel was I think it's called purple belt when he left our place, blue belt, purple belt. So I think in a gi, full jiu-jitsu rules, I think Daniel Bryan would do pretty darn well. I could definitely see him holding his own and doing well. If you're a pro on John Crouch, you can normally hang with all the pro belts from the rest of the world and some brown belts even too.
Yeah, I know he did at least some seminars and stuff under Billy Robinson before he had passed too. You had mentioned Becky Lynch. She just headlined WrestleMania with Ronda Rousey. When you see that type of thing, and lots of Bellator people have kind of jumped back and forth, is that something that you've ever seen yourself like, hey, maybe I would do that. Maybe that would be fun?
No, I am exactly the 100% opposite of the personality. I am as boring and as lame and as non-attention seeking as you can possibly get. I don't want I don't need any extra attention. I don't like attention. I don't like spotlight. I don't want to be have my face in front of cameras. None of that. It's a part of the job, so cool, no problem. But it's not something I would seek out and try to go do. No, I would pass on that. But then again, it comes down to the money. Right, big check. So
supposedly that's the reason why Brock doesn't make the jump back to UFC is because WWE keeps throwing money at him. As we wrap up the WWE talk, you had mentioned Becky Lynch. She just headlined WrestleMania with Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. What kind of interaction did you have with her at all? Did she participate in class or anything of that nature?
Oh, no. Mostly I saw her at Luke Sanders' fights.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She was there hanging out. Yeah, so not at all in classes or anything that I ever see her. I was just like more hanging out. We, go have lunch fight week or go eat fight week and that sort of stuff. But
now, I know you had a pretty big ACL injury a while back. How are you feeling? I know that the ACL is something where either when you rehab or you have surgery on that, it either takes really well or it takes really bad, as we've seen in the case of people like Dominic Cruz. How is your knee feeling? How's your overall health at this point?
The knee's great. The knee's been great past 2 fights. Been able to get it taken care of, rehab it 100% all the way to do everything I was supposed to do, and being able to move, perform again, be truly 100%, not even have to worry about it, not even in the back of my mind, but completely out of my mind. That is nice.
You were one of the big names to make the transition to UFC, from UFC to Bellator in particular. Did you take it back to the UFC, like when you're heading to Bellator, like, hey, match this, or what do you think? And if so, how did they react to the news that you were entertaining a Bellator offer?
The first time or when I just recently resigned?
Either one, really.
The first time they had an idea, they had an inkling. I talked to some of the matchmakers myself. I told them, hey, I'm going to, see this contract out. And then, I'm going to be a free agent and see how much I can get. And then, they did their business approach and, you can't get as much as you can get with us and yada, yada, yada. So I wouldn't say they were unhappy or mad at me or anything like that, but I think on a personal level, all those guys over at the UFC, they're such good business people. They understand that aspect of it. Like when it's all said and done, there are, regular Joes, there's artists, there's teachers, there's all sorts of, people on the planet. And then there are people who are just straight business people. I think the thing that a lot of people don't realize, casual fans of MMA, a lot of UFC people, they are just straight business people. They don't care about this person, they don't care about that person, they don't care about, this person likes that person, or this person looks good, or this person yada yada. All they care about is just numbers. All they care about is money. And so, from a business aspect, they understood where I was coming from. Like, oh yeah, well, you can make this much money, guaranteed money over here. Like, we understand that. That's, there's no hard feelings. We understand that. So I thought for me, both times when I initially signed to Bellator and I just re-signed another 6-fight deal with Bellator, both times, like, people, my main contacts and a lot of the guys at UFC, they like, oh yeah, man, we totally understand that. Like, you're not going to be doing this for very long. Go get your money while you can. So I think it was strictly from the business side of it, they understood that.
Well, as we finish up, you do have this fight coming up, Bellator 220 against Adam Piccolotti. You're looking to give yourself really your first winning streak in Bellator. Where do you think this puts you in the division if you pick up a win?
I have no idea. I think in the division up to Mike Kogan and Rich Chow, the Bellator matchmakers, to decide where I'm at. For me, I will do and control what I can do, what I can control. It's my actions inside the cage, inside the, that's the important part, what I can control. So I'm just looking forward to that, controlling what I can, doing what I can inside the cage, and getting my hand raised and making a statement, and then letting them dictate, letting them decide whatever they want.